Hi, this is Jim Bottrell. I'm broker and founder of Art and Real Estate Services, Jim Bottrell team. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes to watch this video. In it, I'm going to talk about what it's like to be on our team and some of our systems that generate as much business as we do. So, real quick, in 15 years in real estate, and this is my 6th year in this current model, we have achieved being one of the top teams in San Diego County as well as Riverside County. Last year, in 2019, we did $106 million in volume. And that's with just 9 agents. We sold 252 homes, and our commissions earned were over $3 million. Again, with just 9 agents, that's pretty impressive. It's by anybody's measures. The really good news is that in 2020, year to date, we are up by over 40% in the number of sales, which has created an unexpected problem. We are beyond our capacity. We simply can't do any more revenue, any more deals with the number of agents we have. So we're looking to add a few more people. So think about this. The reason that my agents are successful is we get a lot of returning business, and we don't have agents tend to leave our team very much because I am the broker who creates millionaires. I've done it myself through real estate. I've taught my agents how to do it, and my agents teach people, our clients, how to do it. And that's why our clients keep coming back to us over and over. And one of the things that I ask my agents all the time, are you working as an income play, or do you work to feed your assets? And I teach them how to feed their assets and how to build, honestly speaking, a little mini empire through real estate. Because if we are here talking to people, teaching them that it's great to own real estate, wouldn't it be great if we owned a lot of it ourselves? Don't be a hypocrite. If you're going to be selling real estate, you need to own real estate. And that's just kind of one of the things that I believe. All right, so there's a thing with real estate agents, and most real estate agents fail. In fact, the average real estate agent in 2019's made about $28,000. That's not so good. It's really not. In my opinion, it's kind of, I would just call it failing. And the reason agents fail is, honestly speaking, because nobody taught them how to do anything. When you were getting your real estate license, they teach you how to sell real estate? Did they teach you how to market? No, they didn't. They taught you a bunch of contract stuff. And hopefully your broker has taught you how to do it. But the fact is that most agents, or most brokers, haven't. I mean, I worked for a real estate brokerage when I first started, did it about 7 years. And I never got anything from them. I never got one lead from them, not one time ever. I got 0. Despite the fact that they were saying they were going to teach you all this stuff and they were going to give you the appointments and the leads, never happened. So when I broke off on my own, I found a system that does that. So most real estate agents fail, honestly speaking, because they have too many things to do. They don't have the time management skills. Their income goes in waves, roller coaster income. They don't have the money to pay for those expensive marketing things, much less has anybody ever taught them how to market. Most brokers, honestly speaking, don't know how to do it. That's why they're brokers. There's an old saying that says brokers are most often broker than their agents. Another issue that they run into is lacking accountability and lacking systems, and then processes, of course. But I would say probably the biggest reason that agents fail is they lack sales training, honest to God sales training, how to close people, how to overcome objections. Because the only real difference between a highly successful real estate agent and one that's not very successful is really words. It's just the words you use, just the words that come out of your mouth and how you say them. So on my team, we have an actual, no kidding, millionaire real estate sales trainer. This is somebody who's made millions of dollars in sales and is a trainer, the sales trainer for our team. Now, another reason that agents fail is they lack the mentorship. When they start getting into transactions and they have problems, oftentimes a brokerage will have an agent who, we jokingly say hit 30 for 30, meaning they've done 30 deals in 30 years, and honestly, to me, that's not impressive. But they'll have somebody that's kind of doing some deals once in a while that's supposed to be your mentor, trying to teach you how to get through stuff, and it just doesn't work. I had one when I started, and it was kind of a joke. But on our team here, we have, no kidding, real millionaire mentor. This is somebody who came to our team, has been a team member for many years, came to us from Texas, no sphere of influence, no nothing, latched onto our systems, did them really well, made almost $200,000 in commissions his very first year, and then sky was the limit after that, much more than that in every subsequent year. And now he's in just the early 40s, semi-retired on a boat, and that's what he is. He's the mentor of our agents. He's available 24/7. So it's true mentorship, how to get your offers accepted, how to handle the problems, and how to get the people to closing. And then also you have to think about who's your peer group, who is it you're hanging out with. There's an old saying that you are the sum total of the 5 people you choose to hang out most with. And I don't mean your wife and your kids. I'm talking the people you choose to hang out with. And you got to figure out what's the average of them. Are they more successful than you, or are they less successful than you? And if they are less successful than you, then they're pulling you down. So you really need to be thinking about that. Who do you hang out with? Do you hang out with highly successful people? All right, so moving on. Why has my team been so successful? Well, it's actually been pretty simple because I'm putting up an organizational chart for you right here. And you can see there's a number of agents out on the side, but look at all of the support that they have. They have all the inside sales agents. They're the ones that are making the calls, setting the appointments that I talked about before. So they're going to make somewhere between 3,000 and 7,000 calls per week. An Inman study showed that the average real estate agent makes less than 24 outbound sales calls per week. We're making 3,000 to 7,000 per week. Also have 5 people in my marketing department. They're the ones that make the phone ring. All right, those are the ones that make all the people put their hands up in there. Those are the ones that make those 400 to 1,000 leads that we generate on our team every single month, between 400 and 1,000 new leads. Not to mention our database that's grown to 56,000 people. Now, these are people that have put their hand in the air and said, hey, I'm most likely to buy or sell. That's who we're talking to. So despite this whole COVID-19 thing, when most agents really kind of got buried in this, we're up because we were able to rely on that database of 56,000 people. So rather than really relying on all these new leads, we just dove into the database. An interesting thing is we're up by a bunch. So that's been a good thing because it doesn't matter to us what the market does. It doesn't matter to what happens in the world. We always have our database of buyers and sellers. So it's really important to us. So also on this org chart, you see we have the mentor, the sales coach. We have the internal listing coordinators, which you may have at your brokerage now. But remember that dedicated 5-person marketing team and then all those inside sales agents making those appointments. That's what makes us different. We have more support than we have agents. Now think about that where you are right now. The brokerage is 200, 300, 400, 500 people. How many people in that brokerage are actually there to support you? And I don't mean a payroll person, and I don't mean a TC because everybody's got one of those. But who's setting appointments for you? How many people do they have setting appointments for you? How many people do they have doing your marketing for you? All those things. And my answer is no, they don't have any because I grew up in that whole world and I know what it's like. So that's why I changed. All right, so here's the solution. My team generates between 400 and 1,000 leads per month. We have that team of inside sales agents. Now, these are the ones that are going to nurture these leads for as long as possible or as long as necessary. We use emails, we use calls, we use texts, we use bots. We use all different types of things that will keep us top of mind consciousness. Now, what ends up working for our agents is they get appointments, face-to-face appointments, and they go like this. You have an appointment to meet Mr. and Mrs. Smith at their home at 645 Gunter Court, Tuesday at 6 p.m. They're looking to sell and they need to buy another house too. And that's the appointment you get. Now you show up, you use all the training that we gave you, the presentations, the objection scripts, all of that stuff is all done for you, trained, tested, and you can show up and you can get them to sign those agreements almost every single time. New agents joining our team, they usually have their first checks within about 45 days after completion of their training. Now this is what we're expecting to do this year in 2020. The goal is 400 units, 300 buyers, 100 sellers. Now we're probably going to end up adjusting that a little bit because we're going to blow right through 100 sellers. I mean, we've taken in the last 20 days, we've taken 14 listings just right there. So we're going to smoke right through 100 sellers. But the buyer side, I don't know, we'll see. COVID did hurt us a little bit on the buyer side, but it worked out okay in the seller. So those are some of the sources that we use to generate lots of leads, about 26 different sources. And you can see where we came from. So as I started my business back in 2012 when I broke off from my own brokerage, first couple of years, just my wife and I, in a spare room in our house, and then we added an assistant. And then over the last couple of years, you can see where we actually really ramped up because then we got our office and we have a legit business now. And the really difficult part for me is in 2019, we did 252 sides. We did that in 9 agents. It killed me because we had everything we needed to do 400 sides. We had all the leads, we had all the appointments, we had everything. We did not have the capacity to do the 400 sides. It was heartbreaking when I looked back at it and reflected upon it and said, wow, I just made such a horrible decision by not bringing some people on. So I'm always very, very resistant to bring on people. Right now, we are literally forcing our agents to go on listing appointments. And I'm having to go on them myself. I have one in an hour, and I'm not excited about that because that's not the model, but I don't have anybody to go on it because everybody's on appointments. So it's kind of a desperate situation for us, but I'm also still going to be very, very careful about who I bring on. So I want you to ask yourself a question. How many sales would you have if you were only focusing on meeting and getting signed agreements with buyers and sellers on face-to-face appointments versus finding buyers and sellers? Because if you're an average or a good agent, you're probably spending 80 to 85% of your time actually trying to find people, doing your lead gen, all your follow-up and all that other stuff, and only 15% of the time actually selling to people. So my agents don't have to do that stuff. They get the appointments, they show up, they sign the people using the scripts and techniques that we've given them, the objection handling scripts and all the level shifts and all the neuro-linguistics programming and all the sales skills we teach them to get the people to sign the agreements. Then it shifts over and the mentor will help the agent get them from contract to close. So very, very important with us. My agents make a lot more money. My average agent made 3 to 4 times what the average agent made last year. That is because they're not wasting 85% of their time. So think about this. If you had a steady stream of buyers and sellers and you had more opportunities, you'd pretty much just, laws of averages, you're going to have more sales, right? And then my agents don't have expenses. So, they don't have the worthless image advertising. They don't have to do the postcards. They don't do any of that stuff. There's not one of my agents that even did a single piece of advertising last year. And I think as an entire company, we ran maybe 3 open houses in the entire year. Now remember, this is a year where we sold 252 houses. And I think as a company, we did 3 open houses last year. And that was really just to placate some sellers. It wasn't because we needed the leads. The reason we don't do the open houses, my agents, honestly speaking, they are too busy. They have appointments set Saturdays and Sundays. They don't have time to do the open houses. So what now? So here's the keys to your success. Right now, you are probably in a situation where you need to do everything. I did everything when I was a new agent or when I was working for brokerages. I had to do it all. So with my team, here's a solution, is that we handle all the lead generation, appointments, marketing, admin, ops. We do all that stuff. And that means that you can focus on selling, which means more income for you. The next thing is the average agent continuously had to reinvent the wheel. They don't have any established written down processes. All right, well, my team, this system is written down, it works, it's built, and it's phenomenal. All right, so this is so you can focus on selling, again, which means more income. Marketing. Again, real estate agents are expected to develop their own marketing and pay for it. When I showed up at a traditional brokerage, the guy said to go door knocking. The guy said, why don't you try some just sold postcards? He said, why don't you try this mailer, that mailer? But I'm looking back at it now, and even though he owned an office, there actually 7 offices and had 290 agents, he had no idea what he was talking about, because now I understand what marketing is and I know how to do it. Nothing that he ever told me was useful at all. And so looking back at this all these years later, I realized he had no idea what he was doing. And that's probably why he was the broker than most of his agents. All right, but with us, the solution again is we pay for everything. We handle it all. All the agents don't even have any idea how we're doing and what we're doing, and it's not their problem. They're not paying for it. They're just going on the appointments that we set for them. Accountability. Now this one's a funny one. So I was a Marine for a long time, so accountability is not something I've ever shied away from. But most agents have difficulty with accountability and keeping themselves focused. So they have too many things going on, they lose focus, and sometimes they start performing poorly. Now with my team, the lead coordinator, sales manager, mentor all help with accountability, direction, energy, and reminds them of the tasks. And most of the things are automated now. We have fantastic contact management systems that automate so much of that process. So this means that you can, again, focus on selling, which means more income. And income inconsistency, roller coaster income. So I've made jokes with my agents in the past where I said, congratulations, you made $30,000 this month. I always say there is no point in making $30,000 in a month if you're going to roll a donut next month. Usually the reason agents do that is because once they get some escrows going, they stop marketing. They stop sending out their mailers. They stop whatever it is they do because they've got these escrows going. Well, with us, we are constantly setting appointments. It doesn't matter how many escrows you have going. We are going to continually set you appointments until we find your capacity. Usually we push you through the capacity a little bit. We see there's some breakdowns. We back off a little bit. And then once you get your feet back under you, then we start to set the appointments for you again. And next time your capacity is a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. I mean, I've had agents that when they first showed up had a tough time running 4 escrows at once. And nowadays, if they only had 4 escrows, they wouldn't know what to do with all their time because they got better at everything. And they also learned how to use the tools that we have provided for them. So that steady stream of buyers that we're always put in front of people, man, that sure makes things easier for them to focus on selling, which means, of course, more income. So what do you get as a member of the Bottrell team? Well, you get training. Massive amounts of training. Massive amounts of training. Real sales training from a millionaire sales training. This is somebody who knows sales, has been in sales her entire life, made millions of dollars at it. We also have the mentorship program. It's not an option. You're going to be in it. The Bottrell team is a millionaire team mentor that helps all the agents through the first several transactions so the agents get successful in doing things the Bottrell team way. We do things fundamentally different than most other teams, so you have to learn how we do it. But then again, remember, we had 9 agents and we made $3 million in commissions. So we're doing something better than most. Appointments. You get appointments, not leads, actual appointments. I went over that earlier. And a living to be proud of. Members of my team, they net at least 3 times as much as the average agent. And also, we don't really look at ourselves as real estate agents. We look more at ourselves as advisors, teaching people how to become millionaires through real estate. And it's not a joke. We really do it. All right, and then purpose. Help people, help yourself live a better life. So is it difficult to get on my team? Hell yes, it is. It's really hard to get on my team. Why? It's enormously expensive for me. Because remember, my agents, they're not spending any money to be on the team. They're not spending any money generating these appointments. I'm spending it. In fact, every single face-to-face appointment costs me $1,709.24. That's a real number. And that's not putting in rent and legal fees and licensing fees. That's just the cost of the marketing staff, and the inside sales agents divided by the number of appointments that happen. That's all it is, $1,709.24 per appointment. So you have to be good to be part of this team. You can't, there's no part-timers, there's nobody who's dipping their toe in, there's none of that. You've got to be driven and understand it. There's an enormous expense and accountability with these appointments. So only those type of people that want to do this, well, they're the only ones that we want on the team. And then, of course, the second reason is the risk. Who's the one taking the risk? Is it you that shows up, gets all the appointments, gets all the training, the mentorship, the sales stuff? Or is it me who pays for all of it? Well, it's me, obviously. So I'm very, very selective in who I choose. And the key differences of the recruiting are if you were to go to a traditional brokerage, all right, they're going to ask you 2 questions. And those of you that are at traditional brokerages, you know exactly what I'm talking about because they were pretty much the questions that were asked of me all those years ago. Do you have an active real estate license? Yes, I do. Do you have a pulse? Yep. Boom, this place is for you. All right, and that's pretty much what it is. And then you start meeting that broker who tells you to go door knock and put door drop flyers on people's doors and stuff. It makes no sense to me. But for me, my hiring process is very, very rigorous. I'm going to be honest with you. Multiple aptitude tests, a difficult 3-week to 4-week full-time training, and then of course I have cuts all along the way. So again, not that easy. Now the training process, the typical broker is going to show up, they're going to say, hey, that's what the other thing is. The other brokerage I showed up, the training sessions. I walked in, I sat there as me and a couple other people, and he put in the DVD into the little DVD player, and it was a Tom Hopkins video. Okay, great. I love Tom Hopkins. In fact, I flew Tom Hopkins out to train my team for a day. So that's how important it is. It was $25,000 for a day, but it was well worth it. And we recorded it, and we have it all there, so we use it all the time. And it's paid off big for me to do that. But typical brokerages aren't going to do anything with training. But with us, remember I said, you get that millionaire sales skills coach. Because what is the difference between a highly successful agent and one that's not very successful? It's just words. It's just the words you use and how you say them. And that's what that sales coach teaches you, how to get people to work with you because they want to. Right? And then, of course, once you get beyond that, that mentor, that coach, that millionaire mentor, he's going to help you get all your offers accepted. He's going to help you work through all the issues. He's going to help you handle, the appraisal short, different techniques, and the people who say they want to cancel and all this other stuff, because we have a very, very small fail rate. Once we open an escrow, they tend to stick all the way through closing. So that is a big, big deal to have that. All right, so what is it exactly that I'm looking for? I'm looking for full-time agents. There are no part-time agents on my team. I have hired a couple people that were part-time for about a month, knowing that they were going to leave that job and become full-time agents. That's okay, but I don't have any part-timers. If they're going to stay part-time, it's not something we're interested in. It's entirely too expensive for me, because by the time I get an agent trained and I fill up their pipeline with people just to find out if they're any good, it's about $40,000 is what that cost me. So I'm just not willing to take that risk on somebody who's not full-time. If remember, the buyers and sellers, they want to meet with us when they want to meet with us, and we have to be available for that. Second thing is people that are 100% sure that real estate is what they want for a career. All right, so That's pretty important. I don't want anybody who's going to be toe dipping. And I get people coming all the time that want to interview. It's like, well, you know, I'm kind of thinking of getting back into real estate. And just the answer is no. I mean, the interview's over. We're not going to do that. Helping others is a big, big deal for us. That is, I mean, not many of my agents really, none of them that have been here for more than a year are wanting in any way. They all make plenty of money. So it becomes about helping other people. And when you can focus on someone else's needs, you will find that it pays off in multiples. It really works out really well for you. So I want people that are making an excellent living financially. People that enjoy challenge. You've got to enjoy challenge to be on this team, because I will challenge the heck out of you. And if I find things start getting easy for you, I will create more challenge, because comfort is the enemy of progress. And I have always believed that. So once you get comfortable, you're not being challenged enough. I push people, and that's a gift that I have, is I can meet somebody and pretty quick figure out what their potential is, and I drive them to that potential. Even if they don't want to go, even if they go kicking and screaming, trust me, they will thank me later, but I will drive them at that potential. So challenge is a big deal. You got to want to be challenged, and working hard to achieve everything above. As far as working hard, that also means a lot of hours. I've never met an agent in my career that has netted over $100,000, $150,000 that wasn't working at least 60 hours a week, nights and weekends. That's just real estate. So you have to understand those are the hours that you have to work. All right, so if you're interested in joining, what now? Tell her you're interested in learning more about joining our team. Is going to send you a series of tests. I recommend you complete them in a timely manner, because every single thing from the moment you call is a test. So get them done, follow the instructions to the letter, because that is a test too, and get all that stuff done quickly. Then you're going to a professional resume, maybe a 30 to 60 second video of why you think you'd be good for your team. It's just really simple. Just take it with your phone, a little selfie video, and then just email it to her. Super easy. Suit up for a series of 4 interviews. And then ready yourself for a massive, massive amount of training. And then start your journey and success to creating your own generational wealth. So I hope that this was really good for you. I hope you enjoyed the content a little bit. And honestly, I hope to hear from you soon. So thank you very much. Take care.